Hello, all right, in this video I'm going to vibe code a project management tool. So I'm thinking something simple like Trello. I have no idea what I'm doing. I have no plan for this. I'm gonna build it and you're gonna watch me. Let's get right into it. First things first, any links that you see in this video, anything that I mention that you can reference, there's a link to that in the description below so that you can follow along if you wanna build something like this or similar. First things first, I always like to start projects with the Vercel Next.js boilerplate. It makes everything so much easier for me. So I'm gonna go ahead and just hit deploy on that, and I am going to call it simple PM tool. And I'm gonna hit create. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go to the Finder on my computer, and I'm just gonna go to a folder, and I'm gonna start a new folder. I'm gonna call it the same thing, so simple PM tool, just like that. And then I'm going to open a new terminal window in it. I use Ghosty, you can use whatever you want. All right, there we go. So it says it has finished up. Let's hit continue to dashboard, and then I'm gonna click repository here to open the GitHub repo. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy this URL, and I am going to type in Claude to pop open Claude code to my terminal. And by the way, if you have you've never vibe coded before, you have no idea what you're doing, link in the description below. I have a video where I set all this stuff up from scratch. Like there's a bunch of stuff that you kind of need to install. And of course, Claude code is one of those things. And if you don't know how to do any of that, no worries, link is in the description below. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna paste in that URL, and I'm gonna let it know I made a new GitHub repo from a boilerplate. Copy the code into this folder and set the remote origin. All right, so it said it did it. Let's go ahead and just check right now. I can see all of this stuff is in here, so that means it should be good to go. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna install two pieces of context, let's say, one of which is going to be the ShadCN UI, MCP. Link is in the description to this below. This is how I make really good looking front ends with AI generated code. So I'm gonna start a new tab over here in my terminal, and I'm just gonna paste in that command. And then I'm gonna go to the Memberstack AI docs, which is currently the best way to give AI context of Memberstack. So again, I'm just gonna run this command right over here as soon as the ShadCN MCP one is done. All right, there we go. So I've installed both of these things. I can go ahead and just close those off. And now I can go over here, and I'm just gonna exit Claude code and then re-enter it by typing Claude. The reason is because I installed an MCP server, and the thing is, when you do that, you have to restart Claude code or it's not gonna work. So, okay, we're good to go over there. Next thing I'm gonna do is run in my terminal npm install to install my dependencies. And then I'm gonna run npm run dev. There we go. I'm gonna pop that open now, and we're gonna see if this is working. Okay, so we can see this right here. That means the boilerplate is up and running properly as it should be. So the first thing that I always like to do when I'm starting these projects is I just want to get some auth pages built. So I want a sign up and I want a login page working. So I'm going to tell Claude that I want to make a sign up and a login page using ShadCN blocks with default styling. I find that's the best thing to do because it's going to look really good and simple, but good. And we can make it a bit more snazzy after that, but it's going to make things look great. So let me type up my prompt now. All right, so I said, can you make me a login sign up page using ShadCN blocks with default styling? Just make the UI for now. I don't want it to work with Memberstack just yet. Also, can use ShadCN blocks to make me a home page, just a one section hero saying it's a simple project management app and linking to sign up or log in. So again, I'm just keeping this simple. I really don't want to have it do too much at once. I find that's the way to get to a point in your project where you have no idea what's going on. So let's run this, let it build that, and then get back to it. All right, there we go. So it says it created all three pages with ShadCN blocks and default styling. Great. What is this then? No, I'm just kidding. I actually see this error. If you watch my videos, you're going to see this in pretty much every single video that I do. It seems to have some issue with setting up Tailwind. So I'm going to go ahead and fix that error right now. By the way, if you haven't really done too much vibe coding before and you see error codes or something like this and you're just no, what do I do? Go to the link in the description. We have a video on how I debug while vibe coding. It's super simple, but it'll just make your life a lot easier. So if you haven't seen that, go check it out. All right, there we go. So if you run into that problem, typically it's because it didn't create a Tailwind config file. So now if we take a look at this, I mean, obviously it's very simple looking, but like it looks amazing. And that right there is why I use ShadCN. The MCP makes it a lot better. So don't forget about that part. All right, let's go ahead and just take a look at these pages now. So get started, takes me here, looks great, simple, great. Login page, again, simple and great. So these look super good. Now what I want to do is I want to go ahead and have it actually add Memberstack to it. So first thing I have to go and create a new Memberstack app. So let's just go and call this simple PM tool, just like that. Select other and create application. All right, so now we have our application created. Let's go over to DevTools. Make sure it is in test mode. We can tell because it says PK_SB over here. So I'm now going to send it my app ID and my public key. And I'm just going to say, make it work with Memberstack. You don't really need much more because we installed the Memberstack AI documentation. All right, so it says it works with Memberstack. Now let's go ahead and test it out. All right, so it took me to /dashboard, which doesn't exist yet. Let's go ahead and check out members. And as we can see, this new member has been created. So we just got our auth set up and working. People can create an account and they can log in, but we still have that dashboard page, which doesn't do anything. So the next thing that I'm going to do is have it build out the UI for this. And what I'm thinking is basically when you first log in, there's going to be a page that shows you a list of projects. And then if you click into one of those projects, there's going to be like a Kanban board. So if you don't know what that is, there's a picture of one here. It's like in Trello where you have like the vertical boards and then you can drag tasks between them. That's my plan. So the first thing I'm going to do is just tell it to make that like list page, which is going to be on /dashboard. All right, so first thing I wanted to do is just have it push to GitHub because we have Memberstack auth working and that's a big checkpoint. So I want to save it in case anything that we do doesn't work. We can kind of just skip back to that point. And then I said, go ahead and use ShadCN blocks with default styling to build out my dashboard page. I just want it to be like a list of projects that the user has created. Just use placeholder data for now. We'll build out the functionality after. So I am going to set it to plan mode and I'm going to let it run. All right, so it created the dashboard page and this is what it looks like. And honestly, it looks good. The only problem I have is that there's no like sidebar. It doesn't really look like a dashboard or anything like that. We have new project over here. So I'm gonna let it know this looks good, but I wanna like house it inside of a dashboard. So like with a sidebar and all that fun stuff. All right, so take a look at that. We now have a sidebar. It looks excellent, and I'm loving this dashboard so far. So the next thing that I'm going to want to do, again, we're just working on the UI for now. I want to make the new project modal. So when you click new project, it's going to pop open, and it's going to ask you to give it a name and a description. Let's do that right now. All right, it says it made the new project modal, and it did. And it looks amazing. What more can I say? The next thing that I want it to do is build out, this is the final thing of UI we're going to be doing, and then we're going to get into the functionality of it and making things work with Memberstack data tables. But when you actually click on one of these projects, that Kanban board that I mentioned, now I want it to build out that UI. So again, I'm just going to prompt it, let it know to do that with ShadCN blocks. I'm going to read you my prompt. Let me just type it up first. So I said, great, now I want to build out the UI of the project page itself. When a project is clicked on, I want it to be a Kanban board style similar to Trello. There should be 3 columns: backlog, in progress, and completed. Use ShadCN with default styling. Again, I'm going to set it to plan mode and let it run. All right, there we go. So it has made my UI. And we have these tasks. They cannot be dragged and dropped right now, so I'm going to ask it to do that. This looks really good. I can click share. I don't know what that does. I can click settings. I don't know what that does. But again, this is looking phenomenal. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask it to actually make these drag and drop work. So let's do that. All right, there we go. So now we have working drag and drop. I had one issue with it that I needed to fix, but now it is working beautifully, as you can see. This is absolutely awesome. I'm going to ask it to push it to GitHub, and then after that, we're going to hop into Memberstack and set up our data structure. All right, there we go, it's working. So now I want to head over to Memberstack data tables. If you haven't used it yet, and if you don't see data tables in your left sidebar over here, just go to like the dashboard page and then replace this last bit here where it says dashboard with beta-data-tables. Just like that, and then you are going to be in the data tables UI. So the first thing that I need to set up is the actual project. So we're just going to take that one at a time, and also I'm going to exit and re-enter Claude Code now so that we like reset the context because we're moving on to something completely different now. So /exit, and then I'm going to run Claude once more. And now over here we can see, of course, we have projects. So we need to make a projects table, and then we need to have a name. We need to have a description, and we need to have a last updated and a status between active and completed. So I should remember that. Let's go ahead and do it now. So here we are in Memberstack. Let's go to create table. Yes, I understand it's in beta still. And I'm going to do projects. Any member can create projects. And this is how easy it is, by the way, with Memberstack data tables to actually set up your permissions. So read rule, we want members to only be able to read their own. We could also, let's say, do any members and then make it so you can share it with members. We're just going to keep it at members' own records for now. It will be like a personal progress tracker. Update, members can update their own, and members can delete their own records as well. So create, and then I'm going to go to view table. I'm going to go to add a field, and I'm going to call this one name. So just like that, text, all is good. And then we're going to do description, add field. We are going to do status, add field, and we are going to do last updated. And my recommendation to you, even though you can do spaces and stuff, is just keep your names with underscores between it, all lowercase and then underscores between. That way it's the same as the key. It'll just make it a lot less confusing. And I can actually do a date in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just select date. And I'm going to click add field. Okay, so now we have name, description, status, and last updated. So I'm actually going to take a screenshot of this and I'm going to upload it into Claude Code. And I am going to basically say, we've made a projects table. These are the fields that we have. Can you make it so that it actually gets the user's created projects? And they can create new projects. So now we want to make this functionality work. I'm going to type up my prompt and let it run. All right, so I said you can see the dashboard page where it shows all the projects. Right now it uses placeholders. I want to make it work with Memberstack data tables. I made a new table called projects. Within it, I've created the following fields: name, description, status, last updated. Can you make it so it actually fetches the user's projects and allows them to create projects? So I'm going to set this to plan mode and I'm going to let it run. All right, so it said it did it. I had a few simple bugs to fix. I can see it says no projects yet. Create your first project to get started. Let's go ahead and test it out and just say like, clean my house. All right, create project. So I can see here, clean the house, active, updated just now. Is it in Memberstack? Let's go over here and let's refresh and let's see if we can see it. So just like that, we can see it was created. So we have that working. That is absolutely amazing. Absolutely nothing that I need to fix there. I just had some simple bugs. So just like that, let's go ahead and check over here, see what happens when you click on it. So now it takes you over here and that is perfectly fine. We haven't built out the actual functionality for this yet. So the next thing that we need to do is make tasks. So I'm going to need to make a new table. And each task is going to have a name, a description, and a status. Status either backlog, in progress, or completed. And I think that is all that it's going to need to have. So let's go ahead and make that in Memberstack right now. Let's do create tables, do tasks. Any member can create tasks. Members can access their own tasks, members can update their own tasks, and members can delete their own tasks, just like that. All right, one more thing that we are going to need is a reference to the projects field. That's actually the first thing that we're going to need. So let's go ahead and view this table, click Manage Relationships, and do Custom Relationship, do Task to Table, Task to Projects. So project, just like that. That is good. Create one task. Okay. Excellent. So we have that project reference. Now I am going to do name. Name is text. Perfect. We need description. Description is also text. We need status. And I think that's it. Let's go over here. Status. Okay, that's it. Obviously, we can add more stuff after if we need to, in case I forgot anything. So now I'm again going to take a screenshot of this, just like I did with the other table. I'm going to paste it in, and I'm going to describe what it is that I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to make work. I'm going to read you my prompt. Let me type it up first. All right, so I said, now can we make the tasks UI work? I've created a new Memberstack data table called tasks. Within it, I have a reference field for project. I have a name field, description field, and a status field, which should either be backlog, in progress, or completed. Let me know if you have any questions or if you can make this work with Memberstack data tables. So I'm going to let it run on plan mode. It's going to make a plan. It's going to let me know, and then we'll see if it can make it work. All right, so just like that, it is now working. I just created a task. I haven't checked yet to see in Memberstack if it's actually working, but we can see this task right over here. It says sweep the floor. It's full of dust. Now I'm going to go into Memberstack and I'm going to take a look at the task to see if it's there and if it's complete with all of the correct data. So it says the project just like that. Name, sweep the floor, description is full of dust, backlog. Beautiful. That means it's working exactly as I want it to. Now I'm going to try to actually drag this into the in progress. And now I'm going to go back to Memberstack and refresh to see if that has updated it. Okay, so it still says it's in backlog. Let's go ahead and just refresh here and see if it did update it. It didn't. Okay, so next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to let it know that it's not working. When I drag it, it's not updating the status. All right, so now it is updating successfully. As we can see here, it's in progress. If I look in Memberstack, it says in progress. And then let's say if I can drag it over here to completed and refresh this page, it should, as we can see, it's still in completed. If I go to Memberstack and refresh, it says it's completed. So my recording clock here is at 1 hour and 11 minutes. This is a, first of all, really great looking app that we've been able to build. I just want to do one more thing just to make it a little bit better, and that is tweak CN. So right now we're using Shad CN with default styling, and it looks very nice, but it also looks very generic. I want to get a nice looking theme from tweak CN. So let's go ahead and find one right now. Oh, I did not like that one right there. Let's go ahead and say the Twitter theme is pretty nice. So I'm going to go ahead and get this code. I'm going to click copy and I'm just going to say, can you use this nice tweak CN theme? And I'm going to paste it in and I'm going to let it run. All right, take a look at this. This looks super nice. In the span of 1 hour, we managed to build this app right here, which is basically like a Trello clone. Not only is this something that I could obviously use, but this has authentication. So somebody can log into it, create their own projects like this. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this like buy a horse, because why not? Because why not? Create project. Boom, we can see that it was created. Now we have our backlog here, tasks. So I'm just going to say, go to auction. That's where the good ones are. Create. Now we can see we have this task. It works. If I refresh, this is not like just saving locally or anything like that. This is all saving directly to Memberstack. So I can go on another device. I can throw my computer into the water and then buy a new one. all of this is saved. So now let's say I drag this to in progress, just like that. It is going to update. So that is it. Obviously, there's a lot of features I can add to this. I'm not telling you to go ahead and just make a simple Trello clone like what I did, but I did this in 1 hour. My recommendation to you is do something like this in 1 hour and then think of more features, things that would help people, things that they would really like. Perhaps add some AI into it. Whatever it may be, you can use this to build a real business in a day, 8 hours. Do it for 2 days. Heck, spend a whole month doing it, and the things you will be able to build are absolutely insane. So I hope you like this demo, being able to see what you could do in just 1 hour. I'll see you in the next one, and have a great day.